What is good, fight fans? This is Ashley's Corner. Um, I just seen Mauricio Suleiman on believe FightHype.com. Um, he was in an interview and he was basically saying that the WBC is next to mandate a fight for Errol Spence. Errol Spence Jr. now has the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA title, and he's going to fight a mandatory of the WBC. A lot of people were saying, of course, he's got to fight a mandatory fight eventually, and it's going to be in between one of the three titles. A lot of people was thinking it was in between the IBF or the WBC. And Suleiman said for Errol Spence, his next mandatory is going to have to be a WBC mandatory. The IBF mandatory is not next. That means Errol Spence's next opponent will be Keith Thurman if he chooses to stay at 147 pounds at welterweight and fight another fight. It will have to be a mandatory fight. And his next mandatory fight will be for the WBC, not the IBF, not the WBA. And the person that's there for the mandatory position is Keith Thurman. So, we already know Errol Spence Jr. has written off Keith Thurman. He told Keith Thurman he'll never fight him, never fight Keith Thurman. For people that don't know the backstory, I'll try to sum it up. If this fight does happen and Errol Spence does indeed stay down at 147 to fight Keith Thurman, I'm more than sure people will, say into detail for the people who missed the timeline. Excuse me. But I really think that he's going to just move up. I don't think he's going to fight Keith Thurman. I think he's going to stick to what he said and never fight Keith and just move up. Real quick, I wanted to let everybody know Keith Thurman he has 30 wins. He has one loss. He's got 22 knockouts. He's fought for 172 rounds. His knockout percentage is 68.75%. He's been pro for a whole 16 years. Keith Thurman has been pro. He's 33 years old, 5'9.5" with a 69-inch reach. Out of Clearwater, Florida. His last fight was Barrios, which he won by a unanimous decision. The fight went the distance, the whole 12 rounds, back in February 5th, 2022. So he did have a fight earlier this year. Errol Spence specs is 28-0, 22 knockouts, same amount of knockouts as Keith Thurman. He has fought for 142 rounds. His knockout percentage is 78.57%. He's been pro for 11 years. Errol Spence is 32 years old, 5'9.5", 72-inch reach. Southpaw last fight was versus Ugas, in which he won in the 10th round by TKO back in April 16th, 2022. First, Errol Spence wanted Keith Thurman first. Keith Thurman was running from him. Then he went after I believe he went after the IBF first. So he went after Kell Brook. He got Kell Brook. Even though he was speaking about Thurman the whole time, he wanted Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Thurman ducked him before, during, and after Kell Brook. He ducked him before, during, and after Sean Porter. And then he finally wanted to fight him. You know what I'm saying? But then it was Ugas he needed to fight. He got that title from Ugas, and now Keith Thurman keep yelling about him wanting to fight. But he didn't give Errol Spence a chance at his title for a whole 3 years straight. And then he finally started saying Errol Spence's name. Keith Thurman was known to be very scary when Errol Spence was around. And that really isn't my opinion. That is kind of a fact. Like when Earl was around him, he didn't want no smoke. But tables have turned and the tide has shifted. Will Errol Spence take this fight or move up? That is the question. Just like I said, I believe he's not going to fight Keith Thurman because he said he will never fight him since he never gave him that chance. He won't allow him to get that chance either. And I believe him, but honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. Of course, I wouldn't mind seeing it. But I'm all for whatever Errol Spence's choice is. I'm a fan first of his. I'm not going to go against what he wants. And I'm down for it. Whether if he fight him or not, I'm here. Let me know what you got, what y'all think about this in the comment section. It's like midnight right now. I might drop this tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. But let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Is you going to take it or not? And always, always like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.